Good morning. A couple of days ago now, I was doing some testing with my valve index, and I see we had a update to SteamVR, and after that update, if I had an overlay visible, like my FPS VR, if I made it visible, there would be a black bar, or a black band, that's the right way to put it, in the bottom of my my view on my headset, and it wasn't really related to the headset. It was just in my view, and it's like a solid black band, so you can't see through it. A lot of times, like overlays, that kind of stuff, they're kind of translucent, so you can see through them. But this is solid. So I kind of like went, well, okay, I normally want to have, when I'm flying the next plane, I normally have Pilot ATC in here. I absolutely have to have a chat window in here. So I kind of like went looking for a solution or a workaround, whichever way you want to call it. And so I remembered that Falco had created a program called MoveVR, and I just never used it. I always used the OVR toolkit, and but since that is kind of broken for X-Plane right now, that's the funnier part. It only seems to have an issue with X-Plane, right? As far the sims that I use, a Microsoft Flight Simulator, no, it works fine. You kind of go like, really? How's that possible? And with my valve index, it doesn't have an issue. It's with my HP Reverb G2. And I'm finding out that it may be a Windows mixed reality thing. Other people have seen similar things, but generally Windows mixed reality, like a G1, and so due to that fact, I'm kind of so I'm doing things like a little bit differently, and it'll I don't think it'll affect the flight any. Just I have to do things a little bit differently, and so I have overcast skies, and I'm gonna see if that'll work for me. So normally I'm always like rolling my wrist to like look at what my frames are and how the sim's performing, but I wanted that opportunity today. So let me get some well, let's get some airports first. So what do we got here first? Up here. Come on. Oh, it's already EGPH. So EGPH. Whoops, that didn't go well. Oh. EGPH. That looks better. Yes. So the next one, I think, is Glasgow, I think. Let's see if I can get this to come down a little bit. Come on. Yeah, EGPF. Oops. PF. It's Glasgow. Then the last one is Dundee. EGPN. Papa November. Okay, so this is where we are. I'm going to get a map. Cool. And I don't really need a map right now. Airports. That's kind of what I need to know right now. So we'll put him kind of, just trying to put him kind of out of the way. So, okay, I think we're all about ready to see if we get the plane to start. Kind of go from there. So next.
2 brakes. Test and set. 3 fuel selector. Both. 4 fuel shut-off valve. On, in. 6 beacon. On. 7 avionics switch. Off. 8 master switch. On. 9 throttle. Open 1/4 inch. 10 mixture. Idle cut off. A auxiliary pump. On. B mixture. Rich until 3 to 5 GPH then cut off. C auxiliary pump. Off. 12 starter. Engage. 1 ignition switch. Start. 2 mixture, at engine start. Rich. 3 engine. RPM 1000 RPM. 4 oil pressure. Check. 5 mixture. Leaned max. 6 flaps. Retract. 7 avionics. On. 8 instruments.
So we're on 24. And 132. That's probably, that's closer. Good.
Set. 1 brakes.
Okay, we're good. So one thing I didn't do is check the maintenance log for the reality expansion pack. I've been having a problem where it says I have to do a small caging, and I forgot to check it. Once the plane's running, I can't check it now. So the fuel looks okay, so I'll just not worry about it. Yeah, there's a thing going on where it says small caging, and I have to do a calibrate on it. It's like every flight I have to do that. So Nico, he made a change, and I did update the change, so hopefully it's better, but we'll find out. Okay. So I always think a thing ain't working. I click it too many times. Tower. We'll try tower. It might work, it might not. So I'll say weather.
Weather at Echo Golf Papa Hotel is broken. Visibility is unrestricted. Winds are 244 at 13 knots. Cloud coverage is 2,300. Few clouds. 3,700 broken. Current altimeter is 2988. Temperature 8.0.
Say active runway.
Arriving and departing runway 24.
Okay. So that's the runway I've got dialed in here, so wait a little bit more to make sure I get the plane up in the green before I go anywhere here. It's like a delay in it, so when I pulled the trigger on it, it actually took it. But partly because, and I know what it is now, is that I have it set up where it only updates every 20 frames, so it doesn't tend to affect the frames as much. So, alrighty. So, see if I'll roll. Yeah, looks like I will. Gonna get the plane to turn here. So I'm letting the plane roll, and then I'm grabbing the inside brake to try to get it to turn a little quicker. Okay, so I'm headed in the right direction here. So, and I shouldn't have moved until I asked for permission. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready for taxi. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf. Say active runway.
Arriving and departing runway 24.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready for taxi. So, Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready for taxi.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, backtrack runway 24, winds are 242 at 13 knots, altimeter 2988, cleared for takeoff, runway 24, squawk 1200.
Why would I backtrack? That's a little crazy. There's a taxiway here. It'll take me right down to runway 24. That's what I'm going to do. I did not expect that call. It's the taxiway A. The taxiway A goes all the way to the end of the runway. So our first stop is we are in Edinburgh. We are going to go to Glasgow. And then we're going to go to Dundee. Our first points of interest, there's 3 bridges here in Edinburgh that we're going to fly over, and we'll see how it all goes. Yeah, on Microsoft Flight Simulator forums, there's talk of, whether the valve index is better suited And I tried. I did a. Better pay attention to what I'm doing here. So I did a test, and on my valve index, I couldn't get rid of the aliasing. Like when I'm in the sorry. So when I was like in the holodeck in X-Plane, like the lettering and stuff on the ESOL was difficult to read, and the stuff in the cockpit kind of was the same way as if I look at like at that sign over there, it would be a bunch of like moving ants, and I couldn't adjust it enough to make it stop. So Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, ready for departure.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf winds are 242 at 13 knots, cleared for takeoff. Runway 24 squawk 1200.
Oh, there's squawk. I didn't have my on my transponder. I had 1200 dialed in, but I didn't have it set for altitude. Altitude. So she wouldn't have saw me. Alrighty. So come out here, get in the middle of this big old runway, and get ready to take off. Got my lights set right. Trying to apply like just an upright rudder to keep it straight. Okay, rotate. Up we go. So we'll wait till we're 500 feet, and then I'm going to make a right-hand turn. Okay, we're 500 feet. I'm going to turn right. Should be on a heading of 352. There they are. I'll pull back the car a little bit. These are the bridges we're looking at. So I'm trying to get it about level here at about 1,000 feet. Try to get the plane slow down a little bit. Some, well, those are gas or oil. I don't know. It's not obvious from here. Alrighty. We get out here in the water here, and fly down across these bridges. My goal is to jump out of the cockpit. See how well it works. Plane's pretty level right now, so it should work okay. But I like to get kind of make sure the plane ain't doing too much changing before I jump out. If I'm gonna have to change the weather or not, I don't know. I'm like 30. Yeah, when I don't have FPS VR with me, it makes it harder to make those determinations. Okay, so I'm level plate here right now. So, well, somewhat level. So I'm gonna jump out. Going to chase you. The other disadvantage of not having overlays is normally I would have pilot ATC out here with me. And I don't. So, I'm a little more blind than what I normally am, so. But it's kind of nice to know, where, you know, how far is your next waypoint and all that good stuff, but we just have to work through it, that's all. I'm flying on one of these wires here. That wouldn't be bad. It's a pretty cool bridge. And it's really well done. So, alrighty. I'm gonna jump back in the cockpit. Yeah, I was pretty level there, so where are we going next? So we're going to the Kelps next. And I'm gonna try. Here we go. In satellite image. And I think in zoom. Yeah, that's about the right zoom. Yeah, that should be okay. So it's supposed to be on a heading of 277. So gotta turn a little bit here. And I'm coming down through here. I'm gonna try to keep it about level. So the Kelps, I didn't realize what they were until
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good day. Frequency change approved.
I wasn't sure what they were until I flew over them in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Well, what they are, they're a couple of horse heads. In a Microsoft Flight Simulator, I mean, I was kind of impressed that they were there, but they're a point of interest. What kind of surprised me actually is because I'm using Orbx True Earth for the UK, they're actually in X-Plane too. And there's no way you can say they're the same. They're two different simulators, but there's no doubt about it. If that was a landmark you were looking for, you would tell it at a distance. That's what you just flew over. So, as a reporting point, it's just fine. So that's our next area. So the three bridges we went over were back up here. So there's a fourth rail bridge, a fourth road bridge, and a Queensferry. I can't quite read the end of that. So, but that's where we've been. And after the Kelps, then we're on our way to Glasgow. I think I've landed in Glasgow, wow, maybe 4 or 5 times, I guess. I think I've only streamed it once before. Hey, what's going on? How are you doing? I see you updated your Linux overlay. Oh my goodness. What'd you buy? Okay. So you bought a French car, huh? Is there any let's see how far I am. Do they give you like rebates and stuff if you buy an electric car or not? Oh, okay. See if I can find the Kelps. Oh, okay, okay. There they are. So I'm gonna jump out of the cockpit here and whoa, that was exciting. So when I'm out of the cockpit, I can't see my chat, so you'll have to bear with me. I wanted to show these off, though. These are pretty cool. So these are called the Kelps. You got 2 horse heads kind of sticking out of the ground. Which is pretty cool. Jump back in the cockpit. Good day to you too. Give me a minute, I gotta get myself straightened back up in the cockpit here. Okay, heading 251. I do it all the time. Oh, hey! I didn't recognize the name at first, Goopy. Now I do. Alrighty. Still ain't lined up in my cockpit again. Yeah, that's better. So we're on our way to Glasgow. Looks like 22 miles away, 14 minutes. How's my framies doing? Oh, they're doing better. I wasn't sure if when I was outside I was looking at them horses, they weren't looking good. And I wasn't sure if it was my frames or something else, so. Yeah, when you go outside the cockpit, it's like you're in a magic carpet, except there's no carpet. Like sitting in your chair, but there's no chair there. You're just out kind of connected to your airplane. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. I am glad we got that all working. Yeah, it just bought me a new toy. I've been using a Hackintosh for Mac support, and I was at a place where I couldn't, it wouldn't update anymore, so I kept hearing about these Mac Minis, these M1 Mac Minis, so I went, hey, I think I'll buy one of them, so I bought one. I can't believe how small that thing is. And I got it working. It works just great, so. But I mean, compared to my Hackintosh, which is a mid-sized case, I mean, it's like a little dwarf. It's amazing. Oh, don't try VR, you won't go back. Streaming VR is a challenge, no doubt, there's no doubt about it. But I enjoy VR so much that I don't mind the challenge, so. But it's more balls to keep balanced in the air. Yeah, I think part of what's going on is the sky's over. I have it set for overcast, and so it looks a little drearier than I'd probably like. Yeah, Goofy, Benny is he's a Linux user too, and he also he also streams VR, so. Yeah, Benny, I just helped Goopy get his SADIC panels up and running on Linux, so for X-Plane, so. we had a few challenges, but we worked through them. We had to learn about configuration files, and if you don't have them set up correctly, it'll crash. Yeah, and on the SADIC panels, you have to tell it. Basically what was going on is the panels, if you turned a knob on them, it would affect the mouse. So basically you have to create a configuration file that basically says the SADIC panels, I've got the interface covered, so don't do any mouse stuff. So that's what we had to do. Yeah, like say on a mouse, if you like did a right click and you get a drop down menu, if you turned the knob on the SADIC panel, that drop down menu would go away. It was pretty crazy. Okay, we're 13 miles away from Glasgow. Okay, Glasgow's 21 feet, so it's pretty close to the ground. Whoops. Yeah, and my HP Reverb here, for some reason in X-Plane, they updated Steam VR. And so if I have an overlay visible, there's like a black band on the bottom of my view. It's really annoying. And but it isn't in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's the only place I found it was in X-Plane. But if there's no overlays showing, I don't see it. If I on my valve index, it doesn't show it. It's really crazy. I mean, it's like the amount of people that this would affect is unbelievably small. Oh, it's really weird. Really weird. Took me a while to pin it down as to what it was. So I got some mountains in the distance. I can't remember if I got to get over them. I don't think so. It's so hazy, it's hard to tell because there's water I've got to go across. Let me go back to my map. See if I can see what I'm seeing here. No, I'm thinking of, yeah, I can see the water now. Okay. I can see the water now. I get about 5 miles out, I'll get a frequency going on here. EGPF tower. Round tower. Okay. Well, that'll put it. Oh, hello. So. Yeah, I'm already famous. I don't need any help. So about 5 miles out. Actually, I can call right now. Gotta find my button. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good morning. Squawk 1200 altimeter 29er 1 enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 23. Call
Okay.
downwind.
Runway 23. Alrighty. Yeah, it'll be a little harder to see today. Because I know it's on the other side. There's some water coming up here. It's on the other side of this water, so. And actually, it's just on the other side of the water. So, so I'm coming in on a heading that will basically take me right to the runway. So I'm going to have to go to the one side of the runway and make a 180 to get set up for a downwind approach. No VR improvements. You actually broke it. For me anyhow. Right now, you have to run for the windows in VR, the ones from the VR toolbar, to look correctly. You have to run the desktop full screen. So I've got like a 34-inch monitor, so I have it taken up basically the whole screen. That looks like my runway. So it basically is taking up my whole desktop, so that when I go in VR, like the VFR map and that stuff looks correct. If you don't, I can't believe they did that. And this was with Sim Update 3. That's when it started. Now, they have improved the performance, yes, but that's just crazy. I just don't understand that at all. Because I always run my desktop windows, when I'm in VR, I run them as small as I can get them. Well, not anymore on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Alrighty, there's the runway. And I seem high. I'll pull back some power here. So I'm going to go out wide here of the runway and basically do like a 180 so that I'll be on a downwind for runway 23. Yeah, that I'm like so used to explain where the mouse is irrelevant as far as, yeah, they trap your mouse like in the window, so it's probably related to that, but that's just poor design. Alrighty, the runway's over there. So So I have to do a 180 to get parallel to that. I dialed on my heading bug, I dialed it to 2.3 so that I know when I'm get spun around here, I will have that heading bug in the bottom of my heading indicator, and that will tell me that I'm parallel with it. So I don't really want to run into this hill. I'm going to run up here just a little bit further and get just to give myself enough room to get her spun around here. Alrighty. So let's do a 180. Try and get plane slowed down a little bit here. I lost sight of the runway for just a little bit, and I am a bit too low here. So I'm going to try to climb a little bit. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind runway 23.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, call turning final for runway 23.
Because right now I should be about 1,000 feet. Now about 700. So I'm pulling back on the yoke a little bit, retrimming the airplane. So that'll basically slow the airplane down a little bit, which will give me exactly what I'm looking for. So, alrighty. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, request touch and go.
6 Bravo Golf, winds are 223 at 19 knots, cleared for the option runway 23.
Pilot JTC. Alrighty, 1 knot of flaps, yep. Very, very, very happy with it. Okay, so we're gonna go out here, probably about where the water is, and out in front of me here, and then I'll turn my base. So I'll probably pull back on the power a little bit here. When I was in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I was out here, and I think I had been cleared for a straight-in approach, and so as I'm coming in, I hear this airliner got cleared. 1 more notch of flap, and I could actually see the airliner, and so it had been cleared to land, and they had cleared me to land, and so I could see he was faster than I was, so I kind of knew that he could beat me, but I was too high. Way too high. Almost as high as I am right now. And basically ATC told me to go around. It was so cool. It was it was just like in real life. You kind of like stirred up, and you had to, I had to do a go around, and it was quite neat. But I did exactly that. You know, I had flat. I think I was almost. I was pretty close to the runway actually, and so I had to give her some power, get the flaps back up, and go ahead and go around. That's pretty cool. Alrighty, still got a notch of flaps to put in yet. I'm dropping in about 400 feet per minute. Oh yeah, thank you. No, we're good. Flaps. So them white hashy guys there, I got to get over them. That's a display threshold, so I have to land after them. Kind of where the black marks are is where I need to land at. So ground's coming up. Start pulling back on the yoke. Pulling back on the yoke. Pulling back on the yoke. Pull back on the yoke. Back on the yoke. Back on the yoke. Butter. Flaps up. Start pushing power in. Using the right rudder to keep it going straight. Rotate. Up we go. Thank you. I almost act like I've flown a real airplane. Because I have. But when I get the approach right, yeah. I mean, I like having this in the plane, where you can kind of like look at, review what you did, and kind of go, yeah, that was how it's done. So. Alrighty, next heading 49. So, turn to the left. And then, as you can tell, I talk to myself when I'm coming in, exactly what I need to do. And, you know, like pull back, need more. Need more. So the next attraction is 24 miles away on a heading of 49. So there's so I'm going to straighten up right here. I need to get more left, but I don't want to overfly the, I don't want to actually overfly the airport until I get a little bit higher. But I need to turn to the left more. Kind of go over them hills or mountains. I don't know what we want to call them. If I was in Arizona, I'd call them mountains, but over here, I'm not sure. So I'm going to start heading that way. Just kind of slowly making a left-hand turn here. Okay, that's 50. 49, yeah, that's 50, so we'll go on this heading. Okay. I'm sorry I missed that one. Alrighty, I'll pull the power back to like 2200. Oh, okay. What time is it there? 3 a.m.? Oh, wow. When I was working, I'm retired now. When I was working, I would get up. I had to be to work at 6 a.m., so it would be common for me to, I'll get up at 5 a.m. That would be my morning. And actually, I always thought that I was more alert first thing in the morning, way early in the morning, than I was later on in the afternoon. Yeah, I was an electrician for Welch's, and I was there for 49 years, and I was an electrician there for probably 40, let me think a minute, about 43 to 44 years I was an electrician there, so pretty much anything that the people on the floor would break, it was my job to figure out how to get it fixed and running again. They sometimes were very creative. But it was the fun part of the job because it was never the same. Sometimes it was the same. Yeah, just the challenge of that. You know, but after you've kind of done that for some period of time, there was, oh, I was looking at my GPS and I'm like, why is that over there? Well, because I'm in the wrong place. Excuse me. Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. It was actually quite a bit of fun. The most of the plant was run with programmable logic controllers, and because the company was so small, normally the engineers wouldn't do the programming of them. So you had the trying to find the right words. If you chose to, you could basically make changes to the line to improve the performance of it, and you were legitimately allowed to do that. A lot of bigger companies, they would not allow you as an electrician to basically touch it. But they called us technicians, and that was an appropriate term because that's kind of what you did is you can make changes, but also that's a lot of responsibility. I mean, you think you've got a filler that's probably running about, a lot of our fillers would run in between 200 and 300 bottles a minute. You do something wrong with that kind of stuff, danger is probably the right word, because it could get pretty ugly pretty fast. And if you just did a typo, it could get bad. It could really get bad. And but you had the power would be a good word, but also the responsibility of that power that you also had to respect. So, but it was a lot of fun. Do I really miss it? No, because it was not only fun but seriously stressful. So So now my stress levels are kind of under my control now, so. But I'm glad I had the opportunity. Yeah, I started at Welch's when I was 17 years old. Worked there 2 years, went into service for 3. Learned electronics when I was in the service, and come back, and I think within 2 years of coming back, I was an electrician, so. And was an electrician until I retired. So it looks like we're going to go see a castle. Stirling Castle. Oh! So you get the entrance to Sparker. I've had that nickname for a long time, and that's why I picked it, is because of my profession. Yeah, we had in where we used to make. We also did like cans of juice, and excuse me. Yeah, the PLC. I've been coding all my life, so the filler we bought a filler from Krohn's from Germany, and that filler there would do, it idled, because it was a beer filler, and it idled at 600. When it ramped up, it did 1,000. Man, that thing was like a blur. So when the filler comes in, the Krohn's technician, he doesn't like the way it's programmed, but he doesn't know the PLC that's on it. I do. So we spent a week reprogramming a Krohn's filler so that it worked the way he wanted it to, and I was the one that did that. It took a week of, I think we were probably working 12-hour days to get that to basically come to life. So he would basically tell me what he wanted it to do, and then I had to figure out the PLC code to make it do that. That was actually a lot of fun, but also quite a bit of stress. So we're about 7 miles from this castle, so I probably ought to get a little closer to the ground. I'm like a little bit off course. I'm certainly clear enough. I'm going to pop out of the cockpit. I want to look at these windmills. These actually look like reasonably well. a lot of times, like on windmills, you'll get the aliasing, and that I don't see that. That actually looks pretty good. Kind of funny, you can see from the satellite imaging the shadow of the windmill. It's kind of funny. Alrighty, back in the cockpit. I'm trying to remember where this thing is. Ooh, we gotta really get lower here. It says it's 4 miles away. Just feeding them a little bit of power here. I don't want to crash into this bridge. So 3 miles away. Yeah, so I've coded in like, of course, PLCs, programmable logic controllers. I've coded in BASIC, I've coded in Turbo Pascal, Visual Basic, Lua, C++, just a little bit of Python, not very much. I find that kind of like languages we speak, they all convey the same amount of information. They just use a different method to do that. And I look at programming language the same way, so. Alrighty, 1.5 miles out. I'm pretty level. Whoa! Come on, come back, come back, come back! Bad timing! I'm not sure what happened here, but this could end badly. I can't see anything right now. I can hear the plane, but for some reason, there, they come back. That was weird. Over time, jump out of the airplane, but that's okay. So, this is Stirling Castle. That was really weird. So the plane was sitting there. I could hear the plane running, but but my headset, I don't know what was being showed on the stream. But this is Stirling Castle. And this all looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy. Yeah. Yeah. So on what I was seeing in my headset, just like there. I don't know if you can see that on the stream, but then you get the waiting X-plane, you know. But I'm like outside the airplane, so I don't know what's going on. Hopefully I'll be back to catch up to the chat. Oh, okay. wasn't sure if that was showing up on the stream, but that was quite weird. Heading. Oh. Where am I going? Oh, here it is. Is it? Is that it? I think. Yeah. I'm gonna have to do a second pass on this. I was quite distracting. I know what I'm looking for, and I'm flying right over it, so. So I'm gonna come in from the, I'm gonna spin around here. I'll go wide a little bit. And this is, National Wildlife or something like that, so let me get turned around here. What I'm not sure is, I think it's something related to the type of tracking my headset, the HP Reverb does. I think it's related to that. That somehow the tracking just goes away. Okay. So... oh, we're good. I may be turning, but I'll be okay. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. I flew right over it. So this is like a monument to, I think, to wildlife, I think is what it is. It's kind of cool. So whenever I'm out here like this, I don't like to do like really, really steep turns. Because I have no instruments to give me reference as to how crazy I'm being. So I'm going to spin around. I'm going to the right here a little bit, and then I'm going to do a 180 and come back and try to line right up and to go over top of this. I'd actually like to be lower. So I'm going to pull the power back. I'd like to be at about 500 feet is where I'd love to be. Because it's all pretty flat here. There's a rise where that thing is, but it's not that high. Okay. Let's see if I can. Come on, keep dropping. So. Leave the throttle where it is. Trim it. You should slow down in airspeed a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I have a clue what I'm doing here. Perfect. Alrighty, what are we doing next? Back in the airplane. Heading of 59, 35 miles away. Oh, we're going, oh crap. I looked in front of me and went, oh no, oh no. Because the heading I've got to go is right over these mountains. Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking, because this is an HP Reverb G2, and it uses, what do they call that? Inside out tracking? Something like that. Every once in a while, it loses that tracking. Where on my valve index, it's lighthouse tracking. So it's different. What I'm trying to find is, there's some people that they're not working on it fast enough for me. But they want to, visually the Reverb is better. The headset tracking sucks. At times, not all the time, just at times. Like what's going on the stream there. There are some people that are working on using a Vive tracker and putting it on the headset and then using the lighthouses to track it. So those tracking issues will go away. The problem is they're really not working on it quickly. So I have no idea when that's going to happen, but I did buy a Vive tracker, so when that happens, I can put that tracker on my headset, and then I'll have the lighthouse tracking on an HP Reverb. No, they're better. They're better. G2 2160 by 2160. They're better by far. And I absolutely notice it. Because somebody was saying that if you turn the super sampling up on the index, that you can get it to look like the G2. I tried. Some people may, I couldn't. What would go on is I had aliasing that I just couldn't deal with, so that I don't have on my on the HP Reverb. So I went back to my Reverb. It has its issues, but I'll work through them. So it's supposed to be, we're supposed to be on the heading of 59. Yeah, cause where I do VR at, it's not like really well lit, and that I think is probably part of the problem with how well the headset tracks. So, and it's like today, it's like really overcast. It's probably as overcast as it is right here. So. Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So I'm kind of wondering if that's kind of what was going on there, is that it just kind of lost track of itself. I used to panic when that would happen, and I'd like shut it down. No, I don't do that anymore. I just kind of wait it out, because it normally will come back. It's kind of weird, but it normally will come back. It is, in the headset, it's really disconcerting. It is a really weird feeling because you know the plane is still, you can hear the plane. What you're not sure is the plane still moving? or is it kind of paused? And I'm never sure. Yeah, see, I've had lighthouse tracking, so I've had a Vive, I've had a Vive Pro, and then I had a Valve Index, and now I have an HP Reverb. So the majority of my headsets have been lighthouse, and so I've always had the lighthouses. So when I seen the Reverb come out, my first thought was, how do I get my index controllers to work with it? That was the first thing I thought of. Yeah. I have not had that yet. That would be exciting. Yeah, okay. Okay, we're 24 miles out, about 14 minutes. So, where are we going? Dundee. I'm trying to remember Dundee. I think I know Dundee. I think Dundee is right along the water. If I remember right, the downwind of Dundee, the way I normally land, is right along the water. Oh, okay. Let's see what it says about Dundee. EGPN. Oh yeah, 17 feet. It's what I remember. We got one runway. So 9 and 27. Okay. So, alrighty. Well, it says the weather is at, the winds are 270 at 14 knots. The runway is 27. So that would mean that's a headwind. Should be good. Yeah, this is actually a pretty cool airport. I kind of like the I like the approach. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun by basically I fly these routes in Microsoft Flight Simulator first, and then I recreate them in X-Plane, and all I really do is what am I using? I'm using Little Nav. So I use Little Nav and I import the Microsoft Flight Simulator flight and then export it into X-Plane, and it all works great, so I don't have to recreate the flight plan at all. I just import it in, and then I'm good to go. So. Yes, little nap. Really, really nice program. First time I opened it up, I closed it and said it's too complicated for me. I figured out how to use the little parts of it that I need, and not allow the complexity of all it offers to bother me. So, but when I first looked at it, I closed it and I says, that's too much for me. So I have since learned the power involved in it. Oh, really? Okay. Seems a bit busy to me, but it does a lot of stuff, so. And the fact it works across platforms is a pretty slick feature, so. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll wait till about 10 miles out and then I'll make a radio call inbound to land. So I'm just gonna guess that it's 27. Please. Just rechecking my compass. Yeah, that looks pretty close. So I'm lined up pretty good. I got 27 on the heading indicator, and that's almost on the bottom of my directional gyro. So this should be I should be lined up for a downwind on 27. So, and I'm certainly close enough here that I can like pull some power back, because I'm at 2,000 feet and it's 17. So I got to get rid of some altitude. I should be around 1,000 feet. But 11 miles out, plenty of time. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, inbound to land.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, good afternoon. Squawk 1200 altimeter 2988, enter pattern on a left downwind for runway 27.
Alrighty,
Call
got it
downwind.
figured out. Oh, just give me a minute. Edinburgh. And then my next route, I'll be taking off from here. So that's what I've been doing is I take off from whatever airport I landed at. The next flight, I take off from there. So it cleared me to land runway 27, and we got to get down here a little bit so I can actually see the runway, because right now I don't. I know it's along the shoreline here, but I just don't see it yet. Oh. Yeah, when I initially make these routes in Microsoft Flight Simulator, I have no idea, like where it really is, what's around it, any of that. I just don't, and so most of the time I'm flying to them fairly blind, which I kind of like the challenge of that. The challenge of just going to an airport that you've never ever been to before and just figuring it out like you would do in real life. So 5 miles, it can't be that over there. It's got to be a little further down here. But I'm right around, I'm like 900 feet, so I'm pretty good. But there's just enough haze that it makes seeing, it's still four and a half miles away, so. Three miles, that looks like it. Yep, that's it. I can see it. Yep, and there's a bridge there. Yep. I normally on my downwind go just about to the bridge. The runway is just to my left right now, so I'm downwind. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind, runway 27.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, this is Dundee Approach Tower on 122.9er, please repeat your request.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, downwind, runway 27.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, call turning final for runway 27.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, turning final, runway 27.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, winds are 272 at 14 knots, cleared to land runway 27. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, exit runway when able.
I was kind of hoping that was a taxiway, but it's not. There's a fence there. Looks like I got a back taxi. That's where I gotta go, is up where them buildings are, so. Taxiway here. Yeah, I think there is. Yep. Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, clearly active.
Cessna 6 Bravo Golf, welcome to Dundee. There is no ground control at this airport. Let us know if you need taxi instructions.
No, I'll figure it out by myself. I kind of know where I want to go. Oh, looking for planes that look like me. Thank you. There's one. Okay. Whoop, 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 whoop. Come on. Yeah. The reality expansion pack. I have the. Come on. And so now that I'm on the grass, I've got to give it more power, and I stopped, and I shouldn't have. But the reality expansion pack basically mimics the steering in a Cessna. The steering in a Cessna is really weird. Keep going. There we go. Okay. Pull it back a little bit. Okay. In the Cessna, when you push on the rudder pedals, you're basically pulling on a like a bungee cord, so it isn't direct. And what it reminds me, I used to run when I was an electrician. We run scissor lifts, and the scissor lifts are kind of the same way. You kind of give it an input and you wait. To see if it actually moved or not, or you're gonna go back and forth like what I did. So, but when I first started taxiing a Cessna, I thought it acted exactly the same way, and the reality expansion pack for the Cessna mimics that quite well. So, alrighty. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for riding along. So we got the flaps up, and got the plane. So I'm going to turn off the avionics because my instructor drilled that in my head. Avionics go off before you kill the engine. Otherwise, you may break the avionics. And so pull the mixture back to basically, you basically starve the engine of fuel. So when I go to restart this, the next time I fly it, I'll have to prime the engine. So you basically turn on the fuel pump, open the mixture up, get some fuel flowing a little bit, so that the engine has fuel in it again. So it'll start when you put the starter in. So, but yeah, this turned out pretty good. Yeah, I was kind of worried about the scattered clouds, but in the end it was okay. So, and yeah, so I think I was running anywhere between 30 and 35 frames. So, and so I wanted to check something here. So we'll go over to reality expansion pack. I'm going to go to maintenance and see. So everything looking good here. Good here. Good here. Good here. Good here. Good here. Yeah. So what was going on is on this page here, this instrument page, all of these would not say okay. It would say small caging needed. And then over here on action, it would say calibrate. So I'm glad that appears to be fixed. Oh, so for X-Plane, I'm using a program called Reality Expansion Pack, or REP, and basically it makes the default Cessna 172 more realistic to fly. And that's kind of what I'm looking at. So what this is a maintenance report of the plane. So that's kind of what this is. So let me pull this down because it was up kind of high. Yeah, so this is Reality Expansion Pack Maintenance Report. So basically it's a report on how the plane is. Let me back up. Nope, missed it. Yeah. So, when I first started flying this, trying to get it in the right place here. When I first started flying this, I was, my landings weren't like they are today, okay? So basically, when I come in for a landing, this would say, well, actually, I can do that. So I'm just going to pause it. So basically, this here is this is a Fly with Lewis script that basically rates my landings. So the first couple of times I flew, this wouldn't say this. It wouldn't say great landing. It would say wasted. If I come in here and looked at the maintenance, the struts may need replaced. The tires may need replaced. I mean, I was doing some damage to it. So I have learned how to land an airplane with this add-on. And basically what I was doing is just pulling back on the power and hoping for the best. And that's kept pulling back on the yoke, hoping I would be okay. But I don't do that anymore. I come in more powered because I come in on about a 3% approach. If you're going to pull the power back, you got to be steeper. You got to come in at a steeper angle and then flare out. But if you're coming in on a 3%, you've got to carry some power in. So, and the power was back pretty far this time, but when I turned to final, I was probably 700 feet, maybe 750 when I turned final. So I was 250 feet higher than I should have been. So I had more altitude to kind of play with to get it down to land. So cool. Yeah. So I'll unpause. So this all went pretty well. And like I said, this is the first time that I had used a plugin from Falco that's called Move ER. And so basically what it allowed me to do is move my my pilot to ATC and to move my chat into the cockpit without using an overlay. And it actually, I'm quite happy how it turned out. So I had to, normally when I have my my chat window, normally I have it over to my left, so it's closer to me and I can have it smaller. Because it's translucent, I can see through it. where these windows are solid, so I can't see through them. So I have to kind of pay attention to where I put them. So I have this one up here where I can look out the window, and I have the chat window down here where I'm not going to be looking. So I hear the ding of somebody replying, and then I can look down at it. And it works out. It works great. It works. I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. So, all righty. Yeah, and this airport is just what I remembered. It's along the coastline, and in the downwind, I looked at the winds, and well, let me show you. I mean, how do you know which runway to land on? So you look at the wind. So the wind was 270 at 14 knots. So we have two runways. We have runway 27. We have runway 9. So 27 is 270. So what I try to do, this is how I guess that the ATC is going to tell me this. So 270, what's closest to what this number is? 270 is 27 or 09 closest? No, 27 is closest. And that's exactly what ATC told me. So you go 14 knots, like the demonstrated crosswind is 172, it's 15 knots. So if it was a crosswind, that could be a bit challenging, but it's not. That's 14 knots, right? That's it's a headwind. So that was coming right at me. So I don't need to worry about any crosswinds. I just need to overcome what the headwind is coming in, and I guessed it was going to be a 2.7, and that's exactly what they give me. So that's kind of how I try to prepare for coming into an airport, especially if I have the weather. You know, you can kind of guess what runway you're going to be given. So that's how I've been doing it for some time now. I never did that I never did it in real life because I never had figured it out well enough ahead of time. I would do a weather briefing, so I would kind of know, but I never did it the way I do it now in a sim, where I basically do it on the fly. You know, if I wasn't using Pilot ATC, then I would have to figure it out myself. But Pilot ATC, I figured out for myself, and then check to see if Pilot ATC agrees with my guess. So, alrighty, I'm going to call it a day, and I'll thank you guys so much for riding along. I enjoy. I will not stream if I don't have a chat window in the VR cockpit. I won't. I will not do it. So because I find chat is all just part of streaming. We do our best. We do our best. Like I said, I've got 108 hours in a real Cessna 172, so I kind of know how it should be done. And lately I've been striving to make sure I do that. So thanks much, guys. You have a great day. I'm glad of that. I'm glad of that. Maybe I can almost be a commercial pilot. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.